One time I was talking to this guy on Bumble and he wanted to go on a first date and he wanted to go on a hike. And I know that's like a new thing now that people want to go on a hike and don't want to get a drink, don't want to do that. I was like, okay, that's fine. But I don't want to go on a hike. I don't want to go in the middle of nowhere in the woods with someone that I don't know. I was like, well, how about a park or something? He's like, no, I want to go on a hike. And I was like, okay, you're going to go on a hike by yourself then. I'm not going into the woods or into the middle of nowhere with someone I don't even know, sir. And he was like, all right, well, we can go for a drive then. I'm like, I don't want to go for a drive. If I didn't want to go on a hike, I don't want to go for a drive. I do not want to be alone with you, sir. That is not what we're going to do on a first date. Hello, people are crazy. So then he was like super pushy about it and I thought that was weird. And then he was like, well, that's fine. We can go to this park then. I'll pick you up. What's your address? And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not giving you my address. You're a stranger. And he was like, why? I want to be a gentleman. Why won't you let me pick you up? And I was like, you can be a gentleman in a million ways and you being super pushy right now is not the way to be a gentleman. I am not giving you my address. And he was like super aggressive about it. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to block you. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So I blocked him on Bumble. Now, he didn't have my full name. He didn't have my phone number. All of a sudden I get this Facebook message and he was like, hey, sorry, I'm in the CVS parking lot. Someone pulled up next to me. He was like, hey, why did you block me? And I was like, bro, this is why I blocked you. First of all, you are super aggressive. You want to meet in the middle of nowhere. Second of all, you want my address. You're like, want to pick me up, whatever. And now you found me on Facebook. I do not know how. Like, I blocked you and unless you had my images saved and then you Google image search me after, like, why did you even have my picture? Like, how could you even find me after Bumble? So then I blocked him on Facebook and he finds me on Instagram. And I was like, bro, you are boo, 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 like setting up all sorts of alarms. So then I got back on Bumble and I like reported him to Bumble and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. He seems super creepy. He's super pushy about a first date. He wants to meet a first date in the middle of nowhere. He wants to meet in the woods. He wants to go for a drive, whatever. Now he's found me on all of these different forms of social media. So I blocked him. I blocked him here. I blocked him on all forms of social media that I can. And then I didn't hear from him again, but I was like, this is a little sketchy. So I have the guy's like information and I am always like watching the news to see if maybe he pops up as like a serial killer or something. But I think I might post him on one of those Are We Dating the Same Guys and just be like, hey, alert, alarms, like watch out for this dude because he wants to meet you in the middle of nowhere, wants your address, and then he gets really angry if you don't give it to him.
I almost got murdered today and this is what happened. I matched with this guy on Bumble. We talk, like exchange a few messages back and forth, and then we switched to WhatsApp. We decided to go on a date, so he planned one for today. When I asked him to send me what bar we're going to, he sent me a postcode and he was like, meet here. So I googled the postcode and I put on maps and it was like flats. There was like a residential street. So I was like, what is this? I don't want to meet here. Like, can we just meet at the bar? No, he was like, no, just meet me here. We can walk together. And I was like, can I just please meet you at the bar? And again, he was just like, just meet me here. Obviously, I was still going to go to the bar. He eventually told me the bar's name. And I am coming, well, I was supposed to be in the office today, so I would have been coming from wherever my office is. And he chose a place that's like an hour away by tube. And it's a Tuesday, so I didn't really want to do that. I was like, that's too far. I don't want to be back late and then end up having to take like a really expensive Uber back to my house. And he was like, it's not far at all. Like, just walk across the bridge and then you can tube to one stop, which it wasn't. It would still take me about an hour to get there. So I was like, no, can we just meet somewhere in the middle so that we can both travel? It's not just like, I don't know. It's because he lives in that area that he wanted to do that he chose the bar in. He was adamant on not changing location. And he was just like, why are you making such a big deal out of it? It's not a big deal. The Uber's not expensive. He like looked up the price. And he was like, it's only £15, which it would not be because from my house to like the bar by Uber would be like probably £30, especially late at night. But there was a bit of back and forth, and then I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just reschedule for a different day because this is obviously like not working, and now we're just like in a bit of a fight, so it's just weird and awkward, and maybe we shouldn't even go on a date. I didn't say that part. But anyways, he was like, well, I can't now because I've had to put my credit card down and they're going to charge me if I cancel the reservation because it's less than 24 hours. I went onto the website of the bar and I clicked reserve a table. You did not have to put your credit card down. I could easily you just have to fill out your name and that's it. And something told me to reverse image search his pictures and I used this website. It's called facecheck.id and it basically is like reverse image search for social profiles and stuff. I put his picture in there and it comes up with this like fitness gym model based in Germany. I live in London. So I was like, okay. And it had a completely different name. And all the pictures that were on his profile were taken from that person's profile. So at that point, I was like, okay, what the hell? So he wanted to meet me at this random postcode, not the bar. Random postcode, looked like a residential street. I'm assuming it was his place. He was adamant on not changing the location. He specifically wanted to meet there, and he would not meet me halfway. He lied about the credit card, putting it down. And then he's not even real. So I don't know what the intention was. I don't know what would have happened if I went. And it's supposed to be in a few hours. So I obviously have not done anything. I screenshotted the profile, the fitness model's Instagram, and I sent it to him. But now I'm really scared, actually. So I reported him on Bumble. I'm going to block him on WhatsApp before he even responds, because I don't know what would have happened, but everything is just like alarm bells. And there, I'm pretty sure that would have been the last day that I was seen alive. So yeah, that is how I almost got killed.
I'm ready to tell you guys about the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me on a date ever. And enough time has passed that I don't think the guy that I went on a date with would ever recognize me or remember this. Hopefully. Let's keep it that way, guys. I went on a date with this guy that I met on Hinge. He got straight to the point. I was like, hey, let me take you out. I was like, hell yeah, I love a man that gets straight to the point. Let's go. He made all the plans. He told me to meet him for dinner. Boom, done. We got to the date. At first, I wasn't attracted to him based off of what I saw on Hinge. But it was such a great date. Like, I didn't realize how attractive a man could be based off his like mannerisms. He treated me so well on that dinner date. Like he was just so polite and such a gentleman. Dinner ended and we were heading back to our cars, and as he was walking me to my car, I was like we should continue doing something, like we should go get drinks or something. And he was like, okay, let's go to a bar. I should have gone home, but I didn't. Because we go to this bar, we meet his friends there. The bartender, she is like super attracted to me, and she keeps telling him like, I'm gonna steal your girl. So she's giving us free drinks. Like at one point she gave us these green tea shots that literally were the color black, and after that I don't remember a thing. After that shot, all I remember was waking up face down on grass with throw up all over my hair, all over my shirt, everywhere. And I was asking him to get me an Uber home, and him and his friends were like around me. I just remember like looking around, and they were like standing around me, and he's like, I can't get you an Uber because if you throw up in an Uber, you're gonna get banned. And I was like, I don't care. Like I was yelling like, get me home, and I was just throwing up everywhere. I was in and out of it. So apparently he said I fell asleep for like 45 minutes out on his front lawn, and he was trying to get me inside the house. So they literally had to sit out there while I slept and watch me sleep for a little bit. It was so embarrassing, guys. So at one point he grabs me to try to bring me inside, and I'm like on all fours, right, on the floor, and he grabs me from behind, and he kind of like grabs me from where my stomach is and like pulls me up, guys. I freaking farted on him. I sobered up so quick in that split second, and then I went back to being drunk. But he got quiet. I just remember like I farted on him, and then it just got quiet, and then he proceeded to try to bring me inside. Somehow he dragged me into the house. I ended up falling asleep on the floor, and he was like begging me to get on his bed, and I was like, no, like leave me alone. I threw up on his carpet. It was just chaos. Somehow he got me to get on his bed. I woke up at 7 a.m. with his arm around me, wrapped up around me, and I smelled like throw up. It was the most disgusting thing ever. I quietly, I found my phone, I quietly ordered an Uber, and I went home. And I messaged him on Hinge, and I was like, I'm so sorry, this is so embarrassing. And then a few minutes later, he texts me, and he's like, I think you forgot you gave me your phone number last night. Guys, he's like, you don't have to be embarrassed. I want to see you again. It was the most awful thing ever. His name was Cole. He was such a cute guy. Like, he was this white boy, such a gentleman. I don't know what happened. I think I was just so embarrassed over what had happened that I couldn't be confident around him because he had seen too much, and that was like the lowest I could ever. I've never done that. I don't know why that would happen. I think somebody might have roofied me. That green tea shot, I'm sure there was something in there that I did not approve of. But if you guys know Cole that lives in Arizona, Don't tell him about this video.
I just had the worst, most awkward, terrible Tinder date of my life. And I just need to like talk about it real quick because this is insane. So I started talking to this guy literally today. We matched on Tinder today, and he was messaging me and like was pretty adamant. Like I didn't answer him at first, and then like he messaged me again. So I was like, whatever, like I'll give him a chance. Like, sure. So he's messaging me and basically is like, oh, like add me on Snapchat. I deleted my Snapchat and my Instagram. Long story, but I basically was like, oh, I don't have Snapchat, like you can text me. So I gave him my number and he starts texting me, and basically off the bat he's like, I really want to see you, like what are you doing later, like let's go to the movies, let's go on a date. And like he seemed so nice, he was so cute. On his Tinder bio it said he was in finance, he's 6 feet, he had a bunch of pictures, he was like verified, so real person. Like I was like, okay, like sure, let's go on a date. And he sent me like this movie and everything, and basically I was like, yeah, like I'm down, like let's do it. And he was like, awesome, like bought the tickets, like I'll see you tonight, blah blah blah. And then we're planning out like when we wanted to meet, if we wanted to meet like prior, all this stuff. We talked like all day basically. And so it finally came to like before we were going, and he tells me that his car is in the shop and he has to Uber, and it would be really nice if I wanted to pick him up. Instant fucking red flag. I should have just ran then. Don't know why I didn't. I was already in deep enough. I was just like, yeah, no, like we should just meet there, like just Uber. So he's like fine with that, whatever. So he Ubers there, I'm driving, and he gets there like a few minutes before me. So I call him when I pull in. I'm like, hey, I just got here. We got there like an hour early because we wanted to meet up and like talk and stuff before. I wanted to like get to know him, because when you're at a movie you can't talk and get to know the person. I'm so stupid for all of this. In hindsight, like I see this now. Anyway, I call him. I'm like, oh, like, do you want to like come in my car and like we can like hang out in here and like talk before the movie or whatever? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like I'll come out, just park wherever. Thank God I park literally right front and center, like under the lights. There's people outside. There's people in their cars. Like, so I'm parked right front and center. He gets in my car. And like all is like fine, and we're talking whatever, and I basically like had to tell him. So before I left my house I realized I had a cold sore on my lip, whatever. Like a lot of people get them. I've gotten them ever since I was a little kid. I don't know, but I know they're contagious, and I know it's basically herpes or whatever. So I had to tell him, and it was like the worst thing to have to tell someone on a first date. And I was so nervous, I was so scared, and I'm like, if you want to leave now, like if you're all set, like I get it, like don't worry. I was like, I swear I don't have any other diseases, like this is it, I have a cold sore and I have to tell you, because like, yeah, like if we kiss, you know, like obviously we can't. And he's like laughing, he's like, you're so cute. He's like, no, like I don't care, I actually just got over one myself, like it's fine, like I want to kiss you. And I was like, oh, like okay. I was like, your choice, you know. And he's like, can I kiss you? And I was like, sure. Mind you, we literally were only talking for like 5 minutes, not even. Anyways, starts kissing me, keeps kissing me, and like grabs my leg, and I'm like, oh God, like, okay, this is not like, not what I imagined. So I kind of pull away. I started a different conversation. We started talking. He's just acting like really weird. Like he was like kind of annoyed that I like pulled out of the kiss. And so I asked him like, oh, like what happened to your car? Like why is it in the shop? And he starts being so weird and like moving around. He's like, yeah, like actually it's really embarrassing. I lost my license on the 4th of July. I got a DUI, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, okay, this guy already lied to me about something like this. Like this is just that I already have awful vibes about this. Anyways, we get over that, and he just keeps like wanting to make out and like kiss, and I'm like I just feel like I have to, like it was a really awkward situation. And then he starts grabbing my hand and putting it, I'm sure you can guess where, and I basically had to pull away and like tell him like I just want to like get this out of the way now. I'm not trying to do all that, you know, like no. And his whole demeanor changed. He completely changes, and he's basically tells me like that's all he wanted. Like that's why he came tonight. That's why he did all this, because he was expecting that. And I like had to tell him no, like sorry. And before this too, he was telling me that I should move parking spots or whatever, and I wouldn't. And even after me telling him that I'm not doing all that, he still kept trying to get me to move my car to like the back of the theater where it's like completely dark, and he's just acting really off and really weird. And instantly I'm just getting like awful vibes. Like I'm just like, and then he starts like gaslighting me, telling me that I led him on. Huh? Like, I'm so sorry for agreeing to go to the movies with you and I wouldn't pick you up. Like, I didn't even argue with him, because I'm like, if I get this man angry, like, who knows what's gonna happen. I mean, thank God I'm right in front of the theater under the lights and like there's people around, so. But he was like making jokes too, because like I had a nice car. He's like, because I kept saying like, oh, like I hope you don't kill me, like I hope you're not a murderer. And he's like, yeah, I could like literally kill you right now and like take your car, like you have a nice car, blah blah. And like, I don't know, maybe it was just jokes, like because I was joking about it, but it felt really off to me. And you could tell he was like really pissed off and he kept trying to get me to like want to do stuff with him, and like he was like, oh, like maybe we can still go see the movie. Mind you, I did check before I went, and we would have been the only two people in that movie. Like, I had awful vibes. I was like, no. I'm like, I don't want to waste your time. Like, your time's valuable. And he's like sulking. He's like, my time's not valuable. Like, I'm like, okay, you clearly are a psychopath, and you clearly have no self-esteem, and you probably will just kill me. Like, I don't even know if I can post this because I can't say all this stuff. Whatever, I'm posting it. But yeah, so basically I started crying and was just trying to make him feel as bad as possible, because I'm like, I don't want this guy to kill me right now. Like he was being really weird. Like there's so much I could explain, but I had so many red flags. Thank God I had my like smarts about me, and whatever, like this could have ended so much worse. He basically was like, oh, like, will you at least wait for me, like my Uber to get here? And I was like, yeah, like sure, like I'm not gonna like piss you off anymore. Like his Uber got there, and like whatever, he's gone. I'm low-key kind of scared. I'm like, is there a tracker in my car? Is there something? Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna pray all is fine, I'm okay. But if I wake up dead tomorrow, y'all know what happened. But I shouldn't even joke like that. But anyway, I'm never going on another date again, and that's just that. Sorry, he ruined it for everyone. Okay, good night, bye. I'm happy to be alive.
Take off my botched plastic surgery prosthetics with me while I tell you about a really terrible date that I went on. So I matched with this guy. I've been talking for about a week or so. He knew what I did for a job. He told me what he did for a job, but to be honest, I was listening, but I wasn't really listening. Good tech. So we went and met for a drink. I got there a bit early because I was nervous, because I'm human. He was late, but whatever. He seemed really nice. Oh my God, this is stuck down well. So he's like, what do you do for work? I used to work in the city, and then I left my job, and now I work in special effects and makeup. What do you mean? And I was like, well, I've told you this, bro. Like, why don't men listen when you talk on dating? I'm like, oh, whatever. He was like, that's really cool. Like, show me some of your work. And so I get my phone out and I start showing him some stuff on that I've done in some movies and things. Stuff that's just on my TikTok or on my Instagram. I look up. This guy's face looks like this. He legit looked at me dead in the face and he went, you should never show that to people. Why would you do that to yourself? I was like, oh God, it's happening. He hates it. He was like, no, don't ever do that. Why would you do that? You look horrendous like that. Don't get me wrong, you're hot, but when you look like that, it's just disgusting. I was like, dying inside, obviously, because not only are you having a go at me, you're having a go at my work, you're having a go at my job, you're having a go at my passion. My job is really important to me. This guy's just absolutely slating me. I don't find you attractive like that. I was like, bro, not being funny. I'm a zombie in this picture. I'm a zombie in this picture. I'm not trying to go for hotness. Still got a bottom lip on. Get it together. He was so rude to me. I wanted to cry. I was like, bro, I just don't think we're on the same page here. This is what was on the date. No wonder he didn't like it. Yeah, it didn't go well, guys. He was like, what do you mean? Like, we can still date. I never want to see you with makeup. I was like, dude, this is kind of what I do. It's kind of a bit weird if you hate it. So I proceeded to bounce, guys. I left. If you're not into this, if you don't like it, not only do you not like it, you kind of hate it with a passion, then this ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna go out with a guy who thinks I'm crazy or ugly, and I'm not. I've been tested. That's my dating stories. I have a lot, so I'll probably do more of these. The dating world is horrendous, particularly in London. Anyway, back to the apps.
Let me tell you about another crazy dating story I had. I've not gone on a lot of dates in my life. I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16, and I was very much into, like, high school sports. I just didn't date a lot. And this was probably from my freshman year of college. And it really is shocking the amount of crazy dating stories I have for the amount of dates that I've gone on. Okay, God, we can switch this around whenever, and I can find my husband immediately if you'd like, because I would. Anyway, I was a freshman in college. This guy wanted to go on a date, and I was like, okay. Again, new to dating, didn't know that, like, movies, not a great first date. And I was like, oh, we could go to the movies, and he said, oh, that's kind of expensive. Come again? That's really crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm in a parking lot full of people and it's really awkward to be taking a video, but it's fine. Right, so he's like, oh, that's kind of expensive. And I was like, okay. He got over it and we decided to go to the movies, and I think we went on a Tuesday. And where I live, it's like $5 Tuesdays. And he was complaining about it, and I was like, oh, my stars in heaven. And so when we were deciding what the movie was, I was like, oh, Pitch Perfect, like 2 or 3 or something. And I was like, oh, that sounds funny, you know? And he's like, I'm not watching that. And I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of crazy. And then he recommended a Star Wars movie. I don't even know what Star Wars movie it was. I loved Star Wars as a child and then kind of moved away from it. So I hadn't seen like the other 7 before it. And I was like, I don't think I'll really like get it, but we can, or we can look for something else. And he's like, no, we're watching the Star Wars. And I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And so we get to the movies. We didn't buy popcorn. We didn't buy drinks. Nothing. Which, I mean, movie snacks are a lot. But for a date, it's crazy to just walk in there, you know, go straight to the theater, sit down, and yeah, it was a really crazy time. I never should have even gone on the date, but it's fine. And so I think he's like continuously trying. It was a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember all of the details. I've had 2 concussions since then, okay? Be kind. I don't have the memory I used to have. Anyway, he kept trying to like hold my hand, and I was like, I don't like this. And then I don't know what is my problem in 3-hour awful dates, but apparently it's a pattern for me now. And I'm watching this movie. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, cool. And apparently there was like a really big revelation in this Star Wars. And I was like, okay. I wish I would have known. Anywho, so, the movie ends and I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here. And we make it out to like the lobby, and I can tell he wants to kiss me. And by the grace of God, my uncle, who never calls me, called me, and I was like, hallelujah, salvation and glory. So sorry, I had a little praise break. But I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my uncle's calling me. And I picked up. I don't know why, I can't remember why. I do remember he called though, and I will be indebted to him for the rest of my life. And he called, I answered, and I immediately walked right past the guy and went to my car. Because one, I didn't want him know what kind of car. I didn't want him knowing what kind of car I drove, and I didn't want to. I just didn't want to deal with it, and so that's my other crazy dating story. And I hope to have wonderful dating stories here on out. Thank you.